Welcome, everybody. Merry Christmas. I am the old man. This is the third week of Advent. We are knee deep in Christmas at this point, aren't we? We sure are. I'm gonna pick Santa is my name. This is Super Castlevania 4. I got this for Christmas in '94, along with Final Fantasy 3, and I think I got a CD player then too. Man, I was spoiled. Yeah, I don't really have an excuse. That's just how I'm sorry. Um, but '94 was kind of notable to me in that one year, this was the year that my mom and I actually went out and tried to do actually did a charity thing. We went, I don't know if you have the Arctic League wherever you are, or I don't even know if my hometown has Arctic League anymore. But the idea was every Christmas morning, or not every, yeah, every year for Christmas morning, they would go out and deliver presents to needy families. And my mom and I decided we were going to do that. I don't know how exactly that came about. We decided we were going to do that. And so, all well and good. Excuse me. I was kind of excited for it. However, it was really early. Like, you had to get up at... we were up at 4 or 5 in the morning, which is awful. Especially, and when you're like 15 or however old I was, that's pretty awful. Hey, there's a beef in there. And so we were out there and, drinking hot chocolate and coffee and stuff and trying to... Finally, we carpooled with some people and got around to starting delivering packages. And so I was getting ready to see, I was kind of anxious to go, oh man, waiting and people and they'll be happy and whatever. And I was really looking forward to that part of it. Well, it didn't quite go like that. We would pull up to a place, and what would happen would be the person would just sort of answer the door, and then, the reaction was almost universal across the board, is that it would be almost like they were, it wasn't grateful. It was more like we were, giving them a bag of dead snakes. That's the reaction kind of that was had. And I was just like, wow, I guess I don't know if I expected crying or whatever, but something different. Now, I don't really know the particulars of that whole thing. And I am kind of but I guess I just wanted the feeling of, yeah, helping out the poor and them being happy, I wanted that whole, extreme house makeover thing where everybody's all happy and crying, and I didn't see that. Which isn't really anybody's fault necessarily. I just I don't know what I expected, but I was young. So my interesting story before we actually get into the topic at hand, which is Christmas movies. Occasionally, like Christmas music, we tend to watch a Christmas movie sometime during the like in July, I think we watched A Christmas Story. So we love Christmas movies. My daughter has watched Elf umpteen million times, and that's to the point where that's not even a Christmas movie anymore. I like it, but for me, it's not even we watched it almost yearly there one year. Oh, I didn't want that. Oh, poop. Oh well. So yeah, Christmas movies, watch a lot of Christmas movies, and so I just wanted to take some time, like I did with the last video, and talk about some of my favorites. First one, of course, I have to mention is A Christmas Carol, but not the George C. Scott version that everybody else seems to like. My favorite is actually I call it the Jean-Luc Picard version, but it was the TNT made-for-TV version starring Patrick Stewart, and that's my favorite. And I'm not gonna lie that a lot of reason why that's my favorite is Patrick Stewart, because Jean-Luc Picard was always my hero and still kind of is a little bit my hero. Not gonna lie about that. So now I'm trying to fight a boss, and I'm trying to talk and fight a boss at the same time. That's okay. I don't need to play good for this. And I like that version, and there's a couple of reasons why, other than just Jean-Luc Picard, though that does help. I like sort of the authenticity of it. I mean, I know the special effects and some of the acting isn't the greatest in it, particularly Patrick Stewart's like cough, choke, laugh at the end, and some of the kids' acting isn't very good, and but what I like is like it seems like there's just real sets. Now I know like stuff is in a studio somewhere, but that first scene where it's Jacob Marley's funeral, and they're in the cold, and you can tell that they are in a cold church. You can see their breath. Everything just feels really grounded and really real. The scenes in the Cratchit's house with just the room and the sets, it really does seem like that would be what an authentic, house of that, that class or income bracket of people would be like. So it feels, purple hand. It feels just very real to me for some reason. And I know that sounds silly because it's a Christmas Carol, which is totally not real. But it feels just very grounded, and so when the fantastical stuff happens, even that still is kind of grounded, even though the effects aren't the best. And I think Patrick Stewart does a great job as Ebenezer Scrooge. I think whoever the guy who is Fred, the nephew, he's great. Bob Cratchit, I don't know his name, but he played the Great Intelligence in a recent episode of Doctor Who. That guy, I think he's great. And it just seems very genuine and very real, and I really like that. I also like the songs, like the silly little sort of folk songs. It's kind of a little touch, like when the kids are singing at the Cratchit's house, and when they have Fezziwig's party and they sing that little Rose song. I like that. I like that stuff because, like I said, it just seems like it's zombies. It just makes it seem more real to me. And so that tends to be my favorite. I watch that every year. Actually, all of these I watch every year. So I guess that's not really saying anything. Oh, crap, birds. Oh, birds. Why? Why the birds? So that's my favorite. The George C. Scott version isn't bad. And I never saw like the old-timey Albert Finney version. And the Jim Carrey version is okay, though it's definitely very, hey, we have 3D, so we should like make 3D scenes for it. Like that, I didn't like. And I didn't like that Jim Carrey did all the voices for the ghosts necessarily. So that version to me is merely okay. So Jean-Luc Christmas Carol, you can get it. That's not its official title, by the way. You can, I think it's on DVD, so it is obtainable. I don't know if it's on any kind of streaming anything. But we had to buy a new Blu-ray player because my PlayStation won't play movies. I think I already said that in some other video. It doesn't matter. Anyway, A Christmas Story. That is probably my other favorite. These are my top 2 favorites for sure. A Christmas Story. If you don't know what A Christmas Story is, or you are unfamiliar with the... let's use it. Yeah, don't get that. It's about a little boy who all he wants for Christmas is a Red Ryder BB gun, and eventually he does get it. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it, I don't know what's wrong with you, really. Though some people don't like it, I don't know. I really like it. It is very nostalgic for me, and even though it's set in the 1947, whenever it is pretty nostalgic for me for a couple of reasons. Number one, the big wooden creaky house. That's the house I grew up in. I mean, I was in the north, and that was the house that's the house I grew up in, for real. So with the wood cupboards and kind of the old stuff, because our house, my dad had grown up in the house that I grew up in. So a lot of that stuff that's hanging around the house, and those, like the, what do I want to say? Like the wallpaper patterns and stuff are very much like what my old house used to be like. Have I not died yet? Holy cow. Now that I said that, I'm sure I will die. Anyway, and so I really, that really resonated with me. And even in the beginning with the window display, even though it's all old toys. I do remember there were still window displays when I was a kid. And so that really reminds me, you go in and there'd be the big window display of like Castle Grayskull or whatever. And also, you know, like I've said before, we had the Showstopper gift. So that one thing that you've been anticipating for, you know, months and months, and you finally get it, like that really works for me. And my family was kind of like the family in the thing, where Dad was kind of, I don't know how to describe it, not warm, but you know, he did his thing when he could, the best he knew how, and the mom was kind of the one that was closer to the kids, it seemed like, and there wasn't a lot of worrying about things, even though my mom was totally a worrier. Excuse me. And it was really a Christmas time before technology. And that's really one of the things, because I think I'm probably among some of the last people who experienced Christmas before the advent of internet and all the just explosion of technology that happened from like maybe starting like 94, 95, whenever that was. I don't know when the official date of exploding technology is. I suppose in the whenever there's been bombs. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So that sort of simple. Why am I using that when I can use that? That sort of simple attitude for Christmas, I really appreciate that. And I just want to also point out, just if we can take a break for a minute, these drops do not hurt me. So I think this is the only side-scrolling action game that has drips coming down from a ceiling in a cave that don't hurt you. So I just wanted to mention that. Okay, good. So A Christmas Story. I've talked enough about that one. One of my favorites, always will be. I don't think I could watch a 24-hour marathon of it, but it does get watched quite often. What's my next one? I have my I got notes and stuff. Blah 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 blah. Talk. Christmas Vacation. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That is a movie that I have actually only recently really begun to like. For some people, it's like essential. Oh, I didn't want that. It's sort of essential viewing, and has been, but for me, it never really was. For me, it was. Oh yeah, I didn't really like it, and I didn't really like it because when I watched it, and this was when I was a little bit younger, I basically thought Clark Griswold was a jerk. I mean, to put not too fine to point out, I thought he was a jerk. His family, and the wife's family is awful, and I just didn't like. He didn't seem like a very likable character to me, and my Christmases didn't. Excuse me, seem to be like their Christmas so much with just the craziness that happens, and so I just didn't like it. But after a while, when I watched it again a lot later, having a family and having, you know, a wife and a job, and it's kind of resonated with me a lot more. Clark Griswold I was a lot more sympathetic, because having a family, I see a lot of myself in him, and really liking Christmas and wanting Christmas to be special, and just wanting things to work out, and then having life just kind of come and poop on him. That part where he doesn't get his bonus, which is hilarious to me, because, I mean, Christmas bonus, like, do companies even do that anymore? I don't think they do. Hey, 3, cool. But that sort of knowledge of just wanting Christmas to be good and struggling with the finances and kind of like counting on something to be there, and then it's not. Oh, why did I do that? And then it's not there. That speaks to me, and I became a lot softer, I think, in my attitude towards Clark Griswold. And understood a lot more, and as a result, I can really appreciate that movie. And it is genuinely funny. It is genuinely funny, and I might say you know what I'm gonna say today. Anyway, Beverly D'Angelo in this movie is really hot. So yeah, sorry, honey. It's just the truth. It's the truth. So yeah, that's another one that gets watched. Oh, check my notes again. I made notes this time, so this is I'm not gonna do like a. I don't think I'll do too many takes. We'll see. Probably not though, because I've already got my notes. Already got notes. You wouldn't think that this would be the kind of thing that I would have notes for, but I totally have notes for it. White Christmas. White Christmas. I did not like. This is another one I didn't like at first. Oh, why am I whipping every candle like a moron? White Christmas. White Christmas, I didn't like it at first. My mom loves White Christmas. She dances. She loves to dance. She's won awards in dancing. Mom loves White Christmas. And every year, for a while, she would want to watch it. And we would come home from Grandma's house and open presents, and then she'd be like, oh, White Christmas time. And so we put on White Christmas. And I would watch it until about the part where they get on the train and go to whatever the farm thing is, wherever they're going. I can't remember what it is. Where they get to that, and then I kind of check out. I would check out, and so I'd never seen it. And so when I started dating, my wife and I started dating. I bought it once. It was Christmas time, and I bought it, and I was like, hey, you know, this is not anything about Christmas, because my wife and I watched it, and we were like, this doesn't actually have a lot of Christmas in it. It doesn't seem like there's Christmas in the beginning, at the war scene, and then Christmas at the very end. But after that, it's like, oh, poo, come on. It doesn't seem like there's much Christmas in it. And so we watched the whole thing, managed to stay awake through the whole thing, and we weren't terribly impressed. I wasn't terribly impressed. Dummy. I have not died yet. I just want to point that out. And so I remained unimpressed. Man, I can talk like a professional. I really shouldn't be talking over the soundtrack to this game because it's amazing, seriously. But I am, anyway. But then I watched it again, as I am wont to do. Watched it again, and this time I was, again, older, had a family, and watched it, and actually really enjoyed it again. And I think some of it is, again, it's simple, a simple sort of time, no irony, no, hey, let's, of course. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? No irony, no, it's just the story is what it is, and you either like it or you don't. And also just kind of the time frame of that movie, it was definitely a different time. The view of the military is different. The view of even life is different, where you really, there's, I gotta admit, kind of a sense of class and decorum, and just, everybody dressed nice. And now I know that, a lot of those kinds of people were jerks and idiots and did horrible things. I know that. But I do think that there's something that we can learn today from that sort of attitude of having a little bit of class and respect for things. Hey, that was my first death on 3-3. Having a little bit of class and respect for things. And I also actually like the music now a lot more than I used to. And now that I'm not just like a metal snob. And I even like the dancing all right. And I kind of had a little bit of crush on Rosemary Clooney until my wife told me that Rosemary Clooney in this movie has her grandmother's haircut, and then I went, oh, she does. I'm not that attracted to her anymore. So wait, that's another good. It's also boring. So if for little kids, so if I want Lexi to go to bed, that Lexi's my daughter. I put that movie on, and then she's like, I don't want to watch this. Well, then go to bed, and then she'll go to bed. Good movie, White Christmas. You might need to warm up to it like I did, but it is a good movie. Also want to talk about the Charlie Brown Christmas special. It's not even in my notes, but I remembered because I wanted to talk about it because it's so good. Again, I didn't grow. Oh snap! I didn't grow up with it. But I did watch it when I was older, and I really, really liked it. And one of the reasons, of course, the soundtrack is killer. I've already gone into the soundtrack. And that's awesome. And I like it because it's very simple. Again, another thing before technology, before... Oh, my word. Before technology, before, you know, it criticizes consumerism in a very sort of... I don't know. It's not. There's no guile. There's no winking, self-referential anything. It's just the story is what it is. I kind of like White Christmas, and I really appreciate that and like that. And I of course like, as a Christian, of course, I like the whole. You know, this is why we celebrate Christmas, even though that's not the origin necessarily. That is why we do it in the end. And I really like that too. And I actually had to go out and buy that on DVD so that I would make sure that I would have it when it's time to watch it. Because I can't, my work schedule doesn't mean I necessarily always get to catch it on television. And that would make me sad. And it's available. I would probably recommend if you're going to get one. Oh crap, I hate this bird. Okay, good. If you're going to get one, no, not birds. I hate you. Why? Oh, I'm gonna die on the birds. Anyway, I'm glad I'm not actually playing this for a Let's Play. I can tell you that right now. If you were gonna get a version, I'd kind of recommend the one with all the holiday. Oh my word! What is wrong with me? I wasted every single guy. I would recommend the version with all of the specials on it. You get the Christmas, Halloween, and Thanksgiving. That's the one I recommend. I have the one with just the Christmas special on it, and that's good. But you know, you want all the specials. At least I do, anyway. And what are we? We're about 22 minutes. Good. I still have time to talk about my least favorite Christmas movie. Oh, I should mention. Oh crap. I should mention Scrooged. I don't want to go into it too depth, but it's Bill Murray, kind of a modern 80s retelling of The Christmas Carol. Really good. Love it. Bill Murray's fantastic in it. Just another favorite that I watch all the time. And I just wanted to mention it real quick. I didn't have too much to say about it, other than it's really funny, and I love it. Now, a movie that I watched last year, I think it was last year, on Netflix, because I was just jonesing for a Christmas movie to watch. And, oh, crud. Hey, at least I got the axe! Die! Everybody die! Oh, thank goodness. Oh, and there's beef. Christmas with the Cranks. Watched it last year, and it was a movie that it's bad. And it's so bad, it actually made me angry watching it. If you don't know what the story is there's a couple played by Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis, and they have a daughter, and she goes off to college, and they're big Christmas lunatics, and like me and my wife, and they decide that instead of this year doing all the trappings of Christmas because it costs so much money, what they're going to do is instead just go on a cruise and spend time with each other and spend time with each other and just enjoy each other's company and, you know, take a break from all the Christmas stuff. All well and good. Oh, crap. I don't think I'm going to beat this level on this video. Oh, I did. Thank goodness. And so they decide to do that. Well, their neighbors, who apparently the whole neighborhood is super into Christmas. Well, the whole neighborhood decides that they need to do Christmas anyway, whether they want to or not. And so they hound them and harass them and basically abuse them, to not put too fine a point on it. They abuse these people for just wanting to have a different kind of Christmas. And so the entire movie, I'm really like angry watching all these people tell, Tim Allen's character and Jamie Lee Curtis' character what they should be doing and what they shouldn't be doing. And the thing is, Tim Allen's character is right through the whole thing. Eventually, the daughter comes home, decides she's going to come home with her new fiance, who apparently she just got one. Ring by Spring, I guess, is that school. And so the whole town has decided they're going to pitch in and make a great Christmas party because the daughter wants the Christmas party, and so they have the party, and it's like, what is the lesson supposed to be here? Like, Tim Allen's character is right through the whole movie. Everybody should just leave them alone and do what they want. And his character also, despite being the one that seems to be the one that everybody thinks is wrong, he's the only one that notices the one guy and one of the neighbors, and his wife has cancer or Alzheimer's or something. And he gives the tickets to their thing that they were going to go on to them so that they can enjoy time together while she's still alive. He's the only one that notices what's going on there, and the only one that does anything good. And so I was so, oh my word, oh, that was terrible. I'm kind of angry talking about the synopsis with you right now. Like, I'm just so angry that this movie and the people in this movie could treat that character so poorly when he's the only one with any sense. And Jamie Lee Curtis still looks pretty good in a bikini, just saying. I don't know when that was filmed, but still worked for me. Not that anybody else needs to know that. Anyway, that's a terrible movie, and I couldn't decide what the message was, because it can't be. It seems like the message is, despite whatever you want, you'd better conform to whatever anybody else wants, or you're a bad person. And that's a terrible Christmas. That is a terrible Christmas message. So that's terrible. Don't watch that unless you just want to be outraged. But I think that's it. I think I'm not going to try to beat this level. That's it. This video is almost as long as the music one. So think about, I should have started with that one. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Have a Merry Christmas, everybody. Next week, I'm going to be telling a pretty personal story about my life and my beliefs and stuff. So if you're not a Christian, you might want to skip that, because like I said, it's going to be mostly family business. And I'll put another disclaimer when I actually record that one. But thank you for watching. I hope you have a Merry Christmas. Enjoy these movies that I've suggested. God bless, and I'll see you next time.